Hey, welcome to Remove Logic. Come on in. Hey, Remove Logic community. Welcome to Remove Logic. Um, I'm your host, Caryn Ray Lacey, as you can see right there on the screen. Remove Logic is a radio show where we empower you to pivot in life and career, no matter the logic and no matter the logistics, because we know that God is not bound by logic or logistics. So, of course, we know as we believe that God is able to do exceedingly and abundantly above all that you can ask, think, or even imagine. So remove logic and don't let the logic bind you. Don't let it control you. Don't let it make you fearful. Don't let it stop you from doing and being what God has said that you are. And here on Remove Logic, we are here to encourage you, here to empower you, and here to push you in the pivot. So just glad that you showed up tonight. I just excited. Every time I'm here, I'm excited because every time I'm here, God gives me some inspiration to inspire you, to encourage you, and it inspires me and encourages me at the same time. As I have said before, I am in my own personal pivot. I'm that pivot lady, that woman that's in that pivot that keeps talking about it. Why do I keep talking about it? I think it is, not just where I am, but I think it is an assignment because there are so many people that are going through so many changes in life for whatever reason, health, wealth, finances, career, family, whatever it is, we're all going through something. And if you're not going through something, you're coming out of something. And so just want to, just encourage and push. I'm that person that's always pushing you, towards better and asking the question, why not and why not you? And how can you do something different? Usually the questions that I do ask, just my personality are outside of traditional thinking. And I'm so glad that I'm wired like that. So, but again, we're here, Remove Logic Radio. We are here every Thursday night at 7 p.m. and we air on Fishbowl Radio Network. And so just grateful again that you showed up. Look, this is July. Happy July. We've had here in the Austin area, which is where I live. I'm in Pflugerville, and it's been rain, so much rain. But today the sun is shining. I'm so excited. For those of you who know me, July is my birthday month, and usually I'm celebrating the whole month, looking for something to do, creating something to do. And usually surrounded by just amazing group of people who help me to celebrate my birthday month in whatever way that we come up with. But the rain has kind of held me hostage a little bit this year. And so not complaining, but I'm glad to be here. I still want to think about those who lost loved ones in all the flooding that we had in this area, and not even just here. We've had some crazy weather over the last few weeks. Flooding in North Carolina, flooding in just, I think, a few days ago in the New York City, New Jersey. So, be safe. And, just want to let you know here on Remove Logic in our community, we are thinking about you, and you're certainly in our prayers. And want to encourage you that, no matter what, and nevertheless, we still give God glory and we still give him praise. So tonight, I want to talk to you about the 4 C's. What are the 4 C's? These 4 C's in the pivot can be, they can hinder you, hinder you in your pivot, or that you can turn them around and use them to move forward in the pivot. And so these 4 C's are a part of life, What are the 4 C's, Caryn? Compassion, comparing, criticism, and complaining. And just those words, I'm not, when you speak them out, immediately you have a response. Okay. Compassion it ignites a response. It immediately extends you in a place of considering others. And then comparing, that's an immediate response. Criticism, of course, we know that's an immediate response. And complaining. But these 4 C's, they are part of our lives. And sometimes without us even realizing how those words and what we do, how it impacts us. So today we want to talk about the 4 C's, and let's just get real about it and how these words show up in our lives and how they impact us. And so just want to just take the time and talk with you about how, not just the impact, but how they can block you. They can either be used as a stepping stone or a stumbling block. Again, these 4 C's can be used as a stepping stone or a stumbling block. So we want to dismantle some of the stumbling blocks and turn those stumbling blocks into stepping stones right here on Remove Logic today. So glad that you're here. Hopefully something is going to be said again to unstuck you. We are here to help people get unstuck. So let's dive into the 4 C's. And we're going to start, as I said, with compassion. Compassion isn't just a feeling for someone. Of course, it's love in action. It's about seeing someone's need or someone's pain and you stepping in to help if you can, or even if you can offer a kind word, if it's just prayer and listening. Certainly with all the things that we know that are going on in the world at large and in the United States, as we bring it all home, certainly there's a time, this is a time where we can offer compassion. It's so many things going on where you can just extend yourself on behalf of your neighbor. Of course, the Bible says to love your neighbor as you love yourself. But in Ephesians 4:32 is be kind and compassionate to one another. Forgive each other just as Christ has forgave you. That in itself is just, a pause for us to consider when you consider extending grace and consider extending mercy to someone. It's just so many areas that we ourselves either, as I said, if you're not in something, you're coming out of something or on your way into something. But thank God for the people that are around us that lend compassion, that lend grace, and check on us to make sure that we're okay. Compassion is the heart of our faith. It is being kind. It's the game changer in any relationship, or it's the place where healing begins. If you're broken, where someone extends passion to help to restore you. So when we think about compassion, the true definition of compassion is more than sympathy. Again, it's love in action. And again, the faith angle of compassion is be kind, compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as Christ forgave you. But when you're in a pivot and, when life has offered you a change, I think it's important that you give yourself compassion, that, you give yourself that ease and that leeway, in the change, because a lot of times, when change comes, it causes us sometimes to be hard on ourselves. So, give yourself compassion just in the struggle. I remember, I can say the times that I've had, big career transitions and, beating yourself up and asking, did I make the right decision? Or even if the decision leads you to maybe an uncomfortable state, an uncomfortable place, but I remember friends reaching out to me. I remember those that encouraged me to check on me, not to fix me, but to, make sure that you're okay. Or even if it was something that they had that I needed, that they could extend. And sometimes it's just a listening ear. It's just taking a moment to listen to someone, let a person get it out sometimes before we are ready, to try to fix it. Sometimes it's just listening. And I'm encouraged and in my life, and have been many, by those that have extended compassion to me and gave me the courage to keep going. And so as we look at these 4 C's tonight, want to just challenge you even to show up for someone, show up for somebody that that might be going through, or just I had a classmate the other day said, "You were on my mind, and I wanted to call you." And I was grateful for that. We laughed and talked. We hadn't talked in a while, but once we got through the laughter and checking on each other and family and the kids and all of that, then we got to something that we both really could just relate on, as to where she was and currently is in her life, and where I currently am in mine. And we were both saying, "Girl, need to be looking for a job, in a retirement state, but you're saying, okay, God, more money, more, because you're thinking that you need more," which, most often we're considering our bills and where we are currently. But again, that pivot. And so even in that, after we got off the phone, I was scrolling and I saw a video that said, "Hey," it was a minister, and he said, "Stop looking for a job and ask God, what's your next assignment?" I was like, whoa, that hit me. It's like like, okay, I know this is for me, to ask, what is my next assignment? And having compassion towards someone might be your assignment, might be checking on someone. It might be extending yourself outside of your comfort zone on behalf of someone else. And I just want to challenge you, maybe as we're on, this is Thursday, so maybe next week, look for moments where you could extend compassion to someone. Now, this next C, as you were talking about the 4 C's, is comparison. And comparison, that's a hard one. That's tough. It's tough in the world as we see it, from where you're actually sitting, looking at social media, just looking out. Comparison is something that we all fall into when we scroll and we look on someone's page, and you see a highlight or a reel, and oh my goodness, it looks like this, and you start to compare. Maybe suddenly your journey does not look as great to you as you thought it was, and you begin to compare yourself, maybe not feeling good enough, maybe not feeling that sometimes we feel like we should have started years ago, something that we're currently on right now. And we begin to compare based upon time, based upon success, based upon things attained. You compare your journey to someone else's, but the reality is your journey is uniquely your journey. And comparison can lead us to sometimes depression. It can lead us to rejection. It can lead us to resentment. You resent your journey. In Galatians 6:4 reminds us, each one should test their own actions. They can take pride in themselves alone without comparing themselves to someone else. Your path is your path for a reason. And it's important to embrace while you're in a pivot. Embrace your journey. Embrace your journey. The definition of comparison is the habit of measuring ourselves against others, often leading to discouragement. the measure, the habit of measuring yourself against someone else. And it can lead to discouragement. The faith angle is that you should just test your own action. Then don't compare your action to someone else. Just test your action. Maybe today I didn't do as much as I planned on doing, but tomorrow on that list of things to do, I'm going to complete this. Rather than comparing it to what someone else's success, someone else's life looks like, what do you want? And identify that and go after it. But give yourself compassion on your way in this journey. Give yourself compassion. So we have looked at compassion. We've looked at comparison. And again, don't let social media drive you to a place of discouragement where someone's life may look better than yours, where you begin to compare either things that they have, things that they're doing, things that they have attained. But I want to encourage you, if you have a habit of comparing yourself, your journey, your success, or even your beginning at this point, break the cycle. Break that cycle. The power of embracing your unique journey is important when you're in a pivot, when life has offered you change, good, bad, or indifferent. It's your journey and it's uniquely yours. And so don't compare, but celebrate your wins, celebrate your achievements. Don't compare it to someone else. Again, action step. One thing about comparing and that discouragement, it's better to be grateful. Don't belittle the small beginnings, but to be grateful for where you are. Be grateful for the strength that you have to do what you've done. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. So again, compassion, comparison. And we're talking about you. We're talking about how to turn these things into strengths rather than they be used as weaknesses against you in your journey. Write down the things that you're grateful for. When you begin to compare or feel yourself fall into a place of comparison, start to write down with a grateful heart what you do have. Don't overlook what you have accomplished. Don't overlook what you have that can be used for your next. Not necessarily the lack of what you have, what you don't have, or I'm not there, where you're comparing and you don't see the place to get up. But start to look at what you already have, what you've already accomplished, what you can use, and not compare. And if you're doing that and this is helping you, I'd love to hear from you. For next week, let's just look at it. We're going to start Monday as a place of change. And I'm going to extend compassion, and I'm going to stop comparing my journey, my life, my story to someone else's. And I'm just going to move forward in that. So the next C that we want to look at, we're talking about the 4 C's in your pivot. And the next one we want to look at is criticism. Criticism. That's that word itself, it's such a hard word, criticism. But healthy feedback in criticism, because you may ask for help and get a critique, in something that you're working on, or just even a critique in your actions or a critique in your inactions. But what do you do with that? Do you turn it inward as anger and frustration, or do you use it as encouragement? Use the criticism that you receive as encouragement, because criticism itself, it can tear you down. Or it can tear someone else down. And we want to use criticism in this instance to build up, to build you up, to build someone else up, where you're not using criticism as a place of stopping, a place of halting, but where it builds you up. And sometimes the harshest critic can be the mirror. Again, when I look at myself, what do I see? And sometimes that mirror can be our harshest critic. Like, I'm not seeing what I thought. I'm not seeing what I want to produce. And I'm not saying just the mirror image, but I'm saying when you look at yourself, when you look at your life in this pivot, that mirror, that image that I see, where I'm not seeing what I thought I would be at this age in my life, where I would have accomplished this if I'd have started earlier, or even if it was just yesterday, that, you know, you're criticizing your actions, criticizing your inaction. But I want to encourage you to turn that criticism into encouragement. Ephesians 4:29 says, do not let any unwholesome talk come out of your mouth, but only what is helpful for building others up or building yourself up. And that includes how we talk to ourselves. Try to watch what comes out of your mouth. Try to, you know, we know that our words create our world. And so when you're speaking and talking about either your life, your vision, your dreams, you know, don't be so quick to criticize where you are. Don't belittle the small beginnings. You know, just, and I always say, don't deny your destiny steps. Your destiny steps were already ordered by God. So don't deny these steps. If you are just getting up, it's still destiny. It's still yours. What God has for you is for you, and it does not stop unless you stop. And, you know, this is where, you know, where we come in, remove logic. And so I want to help you to keep going, keep moving. And watch how you talk to yourself. Watch your words. Watch what you say. If you're speaking from a heart of resentment, change resentment to gratitude. If you're speaking from a heart of pain, change that pain language to joy. You know, give God some praise and give him some glory for where you currently are, for the things that he has done. If you're not seeing and unable to see with a wider view, really, that you're blessed, that you're still here, that it ain't over until God says it's over. You know, they say if you can look up, you can get up. So, you know, just watch your words, watch how you use criticism, because you can take it. Again, it can be something that will just totally tear you down. If someone comes and says something that, you know what, you this and you that, but if you take it and turn it to, you know what, I'm going to use this for energy that's going to increase my ability. It's going to, I'm going to use this as a stepping stone. I'm not going to allow this criticism, you know, to hinder me, but I'm going to use that criticism or this criticism, or even as I'm criticizing myself, I'm going to get up and rise up and be effective, do something different. The definition, again, of criticism is criticism can be constructive or destructive. And that's what we want to talk about with criticism. Is it constructive criticism or is it destructive criticism? Is what I'm thinking in my head, again, removing logic. Is what I'm thinking in my head, is it constructive? Is it something that I can use to think another way before I totally just disband what I'm doing? But you want to be constructive in criticism, even when you're giving someone else a critique. You don't want to tear down what they've already done. And how we give and receive criticism, it does affect our growth. It shapes our growth. It can cause you to just stop. You know, if you get a hard something is critiqued very harshly, then it causes us to stop. Of course, we rethink, but some people don't recover from criticisms. Some people don't recover well from a hard critique. So again, the Bible says, do not let unwholesome talk come out of your mouth. And, God is about being fruitful and multiplying and going forth. It is not about us stopping. It's about us ever moving for the advancement of the kingdom. And so I want to encourage you, look for healthy feedback. Put yourself around people that can give you that healthy feedback rather than tearing you down. And then how to filter criticism through a lens of love and a lens of growth. How can I filter that in my mind through a lens where it becomes constructive rather than destructive? Destructive. I'm sorry. Invite others, to maybe bounce some ideas off. I could say we gotta go to the boardroom and let's somebody sometimes is a sounding board in your life, but you want to put yourself around healthy feedback. Not that you're controlling the feedback, but if you get feedback that says it's a critique that you weren't expecting, don't sit down on the criticism. Use it as encouragement. Sometimes I'll replay mistakes that I have made in life and awkward moments that I've had. And, you start to criticize yourself. And I would criticize myself like, Caryn, now you could have done different. You could have done better. But it's not a place that I stop. In other words, it's not my stopping place, it's my stepping place. And you can use a criticism as a place to step from rather than a place to stop at. Growth comes when we begin to replace criticism with encouragement. Replacing criticism with encouragement and looking at how you can turn it around for good. When we mess up, we get up, and that's what we teach our children. It was just an accident. It was just a moment, but we do have to be responsibility for our actions or inactions with as far as the criticism is concerned. But you do want to be responsible, be accountable. Take accountability in criticism. Take accountability in your actions or inactions, but use that criticism as encouragement, not discouragement. What can I learn from this? Instead of comparing again, but what can I learn from it? Or even to say, if there's a change that you need to make inwardly, why am I like this? Some things and experiences in our lives set up patterns that may be affecting us going forward, but a criticism can come to cause you to look at that. Why am I like this? Why do I keep going in this direction when I should go this direction? This direction may have produced a different result, but I'm familiar with this, and this is the way that I keep going. So again, criticism, we want to change that to constructive. We want to use it as a construct of positivity. We want to use it where it's not going to tear down, but it's going to build up. Pay attention with criticism to your self-talk. How do I talk to myself? If you catch yourself being critical, pause. Take a moment, rethink, remove logic, reframe it in another way, and then move from that place. But again, that's self-talk. We're talking about the 4 C's. We've talked about compassion. In the pivot, give yourself compassion. Give yourself the ability to know that you can, and this is okay. It's okay that I'm in a pivot. It's all right that I'm here, but give yourself some compassion, and then don't compare your journey to someone else's. Your journey is uniquely your journey. The steps of a good man, they are ordered by the Lord. You know that for whatever it is, your way is the way that you have to go. We can't walk it for you, but we can encourage you to take the walk. And then when you're walking, or even if you're sitting, and I'm not saying physically, I'm saying in the matter of getting up, doing, and going, and being or becoming, that you watch yourself talk. You know, don't be so quick to criticize from past experiences this current experience. Don't be so quick to criticize from past experiences this current experience, because it could be that that past experience can be used as a lesson learned in this current experience. So watch what you say to yourself. Watch how you encourage yourself rather than discourage yourself. Again, like I said, you pause and reframe it. Look at it again. But don't criticize yourself. Speak to yourself with the same grace that you would give a friend. Give yourself some grace. Give yourself some grace. Okay, this last C, complaining. Now, this one is one and save that one, this one for last, because it is something that we can easily all identify with, when it doesn't go the way you thought it was going to go. When it's not what you need, but possibly not what you wanted, but possibly what you need. Just complaining, period. Or if nobody's there, I'm all by myself out here and there's nobody around. Or if I'd have stayed over here, it would have remained. We're familiar with that with the Bible, because the Israelites, once they left Egypt, they began to complain once they got out there, and they began to look for the life that they had before. And so again, we're talking about being in a pivot. We're talking about a life change. We're talking about a possible career change wherever you are. Don't allow yourself to complain about what you had or what you don't have, or even the perceived limitation. Complaining is a hard one. So again, we left out of the 4 C's, we left this one for last intentionally. Complaining focuses always on what is wrong, what's wrong, not what's possible, but what's wrong. It removes possibility, and it gives you a place of thought of where you're standing currently and what's wrong with where you are right now. It does not focus on any possibility of something being different. Philippians 2:14 tells us, do everything without grumbling and arguing. My. Do everything without grumbling or arguing. And that's what complaining is. Complaining can become a habit, listen to this, that clouds our vision and drains our energy. Again, I left this one last for a reason. Complaining can become a habit that clouds our vision and drains our energy. And so when you're looking at where you are currently, what's around you currently, what you need, the vision that you have for moving forward, but to look at what's wrong in this place, it clouds your vision. It does not give you the ability to look with possibility. What if you shifted from complaining to problem solving? Again, remove logic. What if you shifted from complaining to problem solving, or just plain old gratitude? I'm grateful. The definition of complaining, it focuses again on what is wrong, what's wrong, rather than what's possible. The focus on what is wrong, to complain about what's missing, to complain about what didn't happen, to complain about who did what or who did not do what. Again, the faith angle, to do everything without grumbling or complaining. And that's an easy fall into. We fall into complaint. We fall into looking around, and sometimes that comes with blaming someone else, either the parents We had a little issue there, but I want to continue. I was talking about complaining and just how we look at that word and how that word affects us. And it's so easy, again, to be a complainer rather than looking at the possibilities, because complaining takes away possibility, because you're immediately focusing on what's wrong, what happened. Even just as I I just had a little issue with the internet and popped out. You still got to recover. You got to come back with, not the complaint, but hey, I got to recover from this. And complaining focuses on what's wrong, what's missing. And again, a strategy to shift from complaining is to become a problem solver, to look at a solution more than the issue itself. Don't focus on the obstacle, focus on the blessing, focus on the potential. And then, just going straight to gratitude, to say to yourself, you know what, I'm grateful in the midst of this. Nevertheless, no matter what, I'm still going to give you praise, God. But just to look at what you do have rather than what you don't have. I want to challenge you to go 24 hours without complaining. 24 hours. Share your experiences here. Come back on my Remove Logic page and, leave a comment tomorrow. We're going to say 24 hours from tonight. And you just say to yourself, when a complaint comes in your mind, I am not going to complain. But share your experiences where you had to not complain, where you could have complained but chose not to. Just want to give you a challenge to not complain, but reach back out to me on our Remove Logic Facebook page, or you can hit me up on my personal page, Caryn Ray Lacey, on Facebook. And we're not going to complain. We're not going to complain. Nevertheless, no matter what, I'm going to see the possibility in this rather than looking at what is wrong in this. And so when you notice a complaint or a complaining spirit rising up, pause. Pause. Just like I said with criticism, reframe that thought and ask, what can I do about this? Or what can be done differently? Or even, can I just say be thankful instead of complaining? Can I be grateful in this instead of complaining? Share your 24-hour no complaint challenge with me. Let me know how it goes. But I'm looking forward to hearing, how you had to stop yourself or arrest that thought where you won't be complaining. I want to share with you just, some actionable items. When you show up, we're going to go back over the 4 C's. We're talking about compassion. We're talking about comparing, criticism, and complaining. Those 4 C's can affect how you move forward in your pivot. They can either become a stepping stone or a stumbling block. Again, they can become a stepping stone or a stumbling block, but I want to give you some actionable items. Show compassion to others and show compassion to yourself when you're in change. Like, embrace it and give yourself a little grace. Stop comparing. Stop comparing your journey to someone else's, your success to someone else's, your health to someone else's. Your journey is uniquely your journey. It is not anybody else's, it's yours. And then when it comes to criticism, turn it into encouragement. Take away the discouragement. Dismantle all the tools and the words that are coming in your head. Remove that logic of criticism and make it encouragement. Replace complaining. Replace that with gratitude. Replace it with an action that says, you know what? I'm grateful. You know what? I'm not going to focus on what's wrong. I'm going to focus on the possibility. If you are ready to pivot, to grow, to embrace this change in your life to a bigger life, you've come to the right place. You've come to the right place. I just want to encourage you that these 4 C's, they can be a great start, but it's how you use them. Start where you are, use what you have, and do what you can. If you use these 4 C's in a different way, turn it around, and use it differently. I'd love to hear your stories, your struggles, your wins this week, the coming week, or even as far as soon as tomorrow. Like I said, we are going to enter into a 24-hour no complaining stance. No complaining challenge. We're entering into that starting when the show ends. No complaining. No complaining. I hope God just kind of shows you my face. So when you start to complain, you be like, that dang on Caryn. So yeah, I want to encourage you, take these 4 C's: compassion, comparing, criticism, and complaining, and turn them around. Use them differently as you go forward in your pivot. Again, you can reach me on Facebook, my personal page, Caryn Ray Lacey on Facebook. Remove Logic has its own page. You can reach me there. And I really do want to hear from you how you were challenged by these 4 C's tomorrow and the upcoming week. Until then, keep believing and keep pivoting, because God has a life that's bigger than your logic. It's bigger than your logistics. It's bigger than your complaint. It's bigger than your comparison. It's bigger than your criticism. And it is bigger than your compassion, because you can do more, you can do better, you can do greater, faster, stronger, all of those things, if you just set out and start your journey. So I'm your host, Caryn Ray Lacey. Again, this is Remove Logic Radio Show. Why remove logic? Because God is not bound by logic or logistics. So I want to encourage you this week, take these 4 C's and you use them as a starting point, not a stopping point. And I will see you next Thursday, and we can do a recap on this, because I just believe that this is going to be something that is not just for now. It can help you to be greater later. So I'll see you next Thursday right here on Fishbowl Radio Network and our Facebook page, Remove Logic. I'm your host, Caryn Ray Lacey. We're here every Thursday at 7 p.m. Oh, it's my birthday month. So if it's something that you want to do to celebrate my birthday, feel free to do it. Or get in touch with me if you have any suggestions on how I can kick this birthday into gear. I look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you so much, Remove Logic community. I absolutely love you and praying God's best for you.